Science Everywhere is it's an NSF funded project from the Cyber Learning program. So in my dissertation a while ago, I worked on the idea with Tammy Clegg and June On at the University of Maryland at the time, that social media could be a part of science learning, and that social media aspects of being able to post and share questions and think about the inquiry process through those posts and sharing questions and pictures. Uh, we were thinking about this at the University of Maryland at the time, about 2012-ish, about 5 years ago. And so we built these prototypes to sort of mock up and show, like, hey, kids can learn science through social media, and their posts show what they're doing. So this is very low fidelity, almost like Wizard of Oz kind of stuff. Like we got it to work, but we never were able to answer the question, well, what happens across different settings, right? We were only focusing on social media posts, like an after-school program we had run called Kitchen Chemistry at the time. So around 2014, we started thinking, like, well, how do we actually think about this as connected learning? And some of the work that Katie Davis does is on connected learning, and so is Nagin Daya. It's a big idea that when you learn, all the different parts of your context should help to support that learning, right? Whether it's an after school or classroom or home. Um, those spaces should all sort of support maybe perhaps one or two interests or an idea. And so, like, if you imagine being a classroom teacher with 30 kids, it's hard to know what goes on with those kids at after school or home if they have questions about science. And the same thing happens if you're a parent. Like, you might not even know these things, right? That what happens in school. And so there's sort of what we call like an information flow disconnect between homes, schools, and after schools. So we pitched to the NSF that, like, hey, we've got this social media technology on mobile devices. It does very similar things. It's scaffolded in a way that's different. It asks questions. It kind of prompts questions and thoughts about science. So it's a little different than Facebook and Instagram. But we thought, one of those ways that, like, those spaces could be connected better would be if we tried this, we put public tangible displays in some of those spaces so that people who walk by, they don't have to be connected to our social network, but they can actually look and see what kids do, right? What if a teacher can now walk by a hallway? They don't necessarily have to use our Science Everywhere app or social media app, but they can go for 2-3 minutes and scroll through a couple posts to see what a kid does, right? What if, like, a parent comes in for a meeting and the public display is there, and they again start scrolling, people in the community in some way. So we pitched that idea to the NSF. They liked it, and so we decided, okay, so they let us build it right here. So Science Everywhere is this idea that, like, if we're able to use small mobile devices with large public tangible displays along with a connected view of learning, this might help break down that disconnect between those spaces. So it's a project with the University of Maryland right now. They have a site, and we have a site here in Seattle with a group of kids with our displays right now. We literally just have finished up the displays, and we're starting to put them in the public. They'll be going to public in, like, March. Trying to see whether or not those spaces, if we augment them with, like, a large display of information with children's ideas and questions and posts about science, does it help the community know what goes on better in their school? Do people even want to touch this display and learn about it? Does it help people want to engage more in science if they see their friends doing it as well? So it's this sort of question of, like, how does the technology sort of shape the learning, the neighborhood learning, and how does the neighborhood learning also shape how the technology is used?